love the chase and the hunt, and I set the pace when I'm running. I always take what I want and I always give it 100. Don't need a bank, no I'm funded. Play the game like it's nothing. I'm always thankful for something. Don't take for granted, stay humble. Now wake up! It's time to look at the enemy. Look in the mirror if he is no friend to me. It's not working out, maybe it's the chemistry. It's time to break up so I can make a better me. Better believe in your mind, cause it's everything. You can mold, shape, find almost anything. All it takes is some time and some clarity to find your identity. It's mind over everything.
Alright, what is up, you heathens and demons, you sinners and saints, beautiful blasphemous bastards. Welcome back to Knock TV. I'm your boy Knock. So I decided, I woke up full of thoughts. Initially, woke up I really need to get to work, and I do need to get to work today. I'm kind of behind the 8 ball on that. I've had some disruptions, and when my OCD gets disrupted, when my routines get disrupted, it's tough on me. It's kind of what I'm dealing with. I should have kind of went out this morning. I woke up with that intention, but my OCD is clusterfucked, right? So I had the disruption with my daughter and her hospital visit on Saturday, and then yesterday I found myself mentally getting involved with I guess you could call it a crisis within a certain element of the atheist community. So I'm trying to get my brain back on track. There are things I need to do. Monday is usually my day off, right? So everything got fucked up with having to take Saturday off and then deciding to take yesterday off, mainly because I was just mentally tired from Saturday. And now there are things that I usually do today that my brain is telling me I need to be doing, like laundry, and this is the day that I really clean. So I'm going to probably be doing those things, but I am behind the 8 ball this month because it's been a hectic month. I've been trying to get back into doing this, making sure my OBS is doing what I want it to do, looking through different programs for conversation streams, and really happy with the 2 conversations that I have had. Really happy with Restream. I liked how that was working. Want to see how it looks, once I upgrade it, because I am not too happy with the clarity of it, but that's just the plan that I have. It should be a lot clearer with the next level up. But yeah, so I'm waking up this morning and my brain is full of thoughts, right? So last night was a very long, informative stream. Really, really happy that Bree came on to kind of give her side of everything as I'm continue to find out more and more. And I've got serious things to consider, right? This is kind of what I do, and this is kind of what I said I wasn't going to do when I came back, is take up these crusades against people that I deem to be worthy of a crusade, right? So I had my Matt Powell, I had Smokey Saint and Will Kincaid. You could probably say on a smaller extent Brett Keane. I definitely have had smaller crusades against Will Fremens and people of that ilk. messenger reveals back in the day. So, and is this like a crusade that I necessarily like really want to take up? And without a doubt, like first and foremost, like that's pretty much a no-brainer. Even though I said that like I was going to try to stay away from like YouTube drama, I'm not going to run away from YouTube drama. So that's kind of like a no-brainer. Taking up causes is what I do, right? And so is Jay Bundy, is that a cause that I can take up? Like, am I going to do any damage to Jay Bundy? Probably not. He's going to have certain high grounds when it comes to that conflict. And I'm going to have certain high grounds when it comes to that conflict. And I don't even know like how seriously he's going to take that conflict head on at this moment. Now, I do know like he's been made aware of it. But is this like my business? And to that question, it's like an obvious no. I have nothing to do with this. In fact, probably a lot of the people behind this particular conference are people that do not like me. I don't really care about those things. But it is worth taking into consideration. Like, this isn't my business. Is this something I really want to be taking up right now? But essentially, like, I've definitely come to a conclusion, especially after hearing Bree's side of the story yesterday, right? So that gives me a lot more context to work with, right? And this is exactly the thing that I do kind of at least want to test the boundaries of you know, how I'm going to handle it in the mental state that I am currently. You know, I am sober from alcohol. I have dealt with a lot of the things that I was running away from with alcohol. My temperament is a lot better than it used to be. So I am interested in seeing how I'll handle something like this. But overall, like with the conversation yesterday with Bree, I've really come to the conclusion that this is something like I feel like people should be talking about, and at the same time, there are red flags about talking about it, right? So talking about it is exactly what Jay Bundy wants, right? Like, so he's going to get the play he wants if I like make this a crusade or whatever. Yeah, what's up, Jefferson Spatchcock, Halcyonic Caillou, and what's going on, John? So yeah, that's kind of like where I'm at this morning, just kind of like reflecting on that. You know, Bree's a longtime friend. And she's going through a lot of changes, not just physically, but emotionally and sexually, right? And she talked a lot about that yesterday, about this new element of the story. Like, like if you read the victim statement, or if you just listen to Jay's stream, you might not get the accurate assessment of that element, and that is the element of some of the kinks that these people were involved with, and especially when you're talking about like aggressive kinks, and as Bree said, these are things probably left done in privacy. So there's elements here of, you know, responsibility of Elliot, secular rarity, right? Like, so this dude, right, one of two things happened. One of two things: he sexually assaulted a person, or he was in a consensual tryst, I guess would be the best word for it, that was completely inappropriate, right? So on many levels, right? So he was a speaker at a conference, having a very public sexual liaison with an attendee of that conference. And this is something that kind of has happened at conferences across the board for a very, very, very long time. But especially like in a community that's supposed to recognize like power dynamics when it comes to sexual harassment. You would expect, you know, your representatives to represent themselves better, more professionally. So even taking away like the sexual assault side of it, like secular rarity's behavior is deeply, deeply problematic, right? And that's going to need to be dealt with. Now, he's going to, the really only like way you're going to really deal with that is for secular rarity himself to really do a lot of self-reflecting outside of like civil suits, and the criminal process seems to be pretty much over, and he seems to be absolved criminally, as far as I understand it. But civilly, we'll see where that's going to go. But just on a level of being a representative for a community, which I don't know how large his channel was, but there does come that responsibility. This was brought up back in the day, like with me personally, and back then I was dating a lot of younger girls, and even though like I wasn't younger girls, younger women, 26 to 30-year-olds, and I was a 40-something-year-old man. Now it wasn't anybody that was watching me, but it was still an issue in a community that takes power dynamics seriously, right? And ultimately, I came to the conclusion that what I was being told was accurate, and I needed to kind of really look at my own behaviors and the power dynamics of just being an older man, and I had to make those self changes. But like when it comes to like the sexual assault of this person, it's pretty clear that we have a story change, right? So, and that doesn't mean the sexual assault didn't happen, but it does add a different dynamic to it, right? So, Jay's going to go around saying that, like the initial response is the trauma response, and I do watch like a lot of LawTube, and I think a lot of lawyers are going to tell you, a lot of police officers are going to tell you, is like the initial response is usually the most accurate. With time, stories tend to change because of outside influences. People can actually remember things differently because they choose they want to remember things differently or feel they need to remember things differently. So I think like investigators, like when it comes to like actual people that are investigating crimes, are going to be more reliant on initial statements as opposed to statements you're going to get later when stories start changing, right? And in fact, those stories, the fact that stories are changing is actually a huge red flag and an indicator of deception, right? And you cannot fucking ignore that. Like you can't like just push that off to the side, right? Like once there is deception on a side of it, then you are now putting into question your entire fucking framework of your side. So, these are just some of the reflections that I'm having and trying to contemplate. I went to bed last night actually listening to the playback, but of course I went to bed, so I didn't hear too much of it. I listened to a little bit of it this morning. I listened to a little bit of some insane shit Jay put out yesterday. Well, I was sitting here deciding, like, am I going to get out and am I going to work this morning or am I not? But I guess before any of that, there's another thing that's, like, unrelated that I should probably address. So coming back, like, one of my major focuses, and it was going to be a work in process. It was something that I was going to, like, as the channel started to get bigger again and more people started to come, especially like with these live streams, more people are starting to come to watch the live streams again. I'm going to have to really, like consider, moderation, right? And one of the things coming back, like I wanted the side chat to be a place where people with opposing views would be able to be, right? Like, so Messenger Reveals coming into the side chat, posting his Messenger Reveals things, I want him to be able to do that. I want, if I'm going to draw like opposing oppositional conversations, they and their people need to be able to come into the side chats and be able to kind of spew their filth to a point. But I definitely don't want that going on when I'm having like heavier streams, where we're dealing with like really, really sensitive topics like sexual assault, where people people are especially like emotionally raw. I don't think that that's the time and place for that. And, you know, even though that was like a really tough hill to climb back in the day when I had the moderation for it, my goal is eventually to have a moderation capable of differentiating between the two. So like if you're coming into a stream and you're trying to like, you know, kind of trigger the chat on particular streams, that's just not going to be fucking tolerated, right? Like it's just not going to be fucking tolerated. And I had, you know, I said messenger reveals, but I'm not necessarily talking about messenger reveals because I haven't had a chance to really reveal the chat. I'm more talking about William Freeman and Sammy. Now, so I made a comment at one point, just noticing Will Freeman doing what Will Freeman does, and I have no idea for the life of me why I decided to give Will Freeman a wrench. There's been a couple times that I've tried to come back since my nervous breakdown. A few of those times I was really like battling with I don't know how free speech I wanted to be. So I'm not sure if that's why I gave him a wrench. If I gave him a wrench, like last night I made some like excuse, like it's basically because, you know, I was going at him pretty hard. And usually when I'm going at somebody pretty hard, I do want them to have leeway to say what, you know, to rebut whatever I'm saying about them. That might have been why I gave him a wrench. I just really don't remember why I gave this dude a wrench. And last night, like his comment, I love white people, that is a purposeful dig, right? Like, so he knows like I'm going to probably hone in on that, and I'm going to call it out. Like, dude, I find that problematic, right? Like that's racial. And so like he's going to start his thing. Well, you know, knock the highest authority is calling me a racist. And no, like actually I'm not, because I actually defended you on that before. And now I'm starting to reconsider defending you on it, because what you're doing is poking, you're race baiting. So like you're making a statement, so you don't, you know, like you giving yourself like enough room to say like, I'm not racist, you know, I said I like some black people, it just depends on their culture and blah blah blah. Yeah, whatever, dude, you like black people with white culture, whatever, you know, like you're race baiting and you're trying to like rile fucking people up, right? And then Sammy's sitting there playing the fucking dumbass with you, and it's really disrespectful to me because Sammy, for one, used to be my friend. So, like, you clearly just don't have any fucking respect for me that you're going to come and play these fucking games in my side chat, right? So, like, I'm looking at you two now like I really need to fucking go at you motherfuckers again, because you clearly don't fucking know shit. You want to be like little fucking children, right? So, you know, it's not that I'm calling you a fucking racist. I'm calling you a fucking child. I'm exposing the racial obsession of the left. No, you're just a fucking dumbass. And again, Sammy was supposed to be my friend, and you've turned this dude into like an equal monster of like you, and it's fucking disgusting. It's fucking. I'd find you pathetic. But I always have. You know, the whole thing started with your right-wing extremism and your fucking love for these fucking little gay boys out in the middle of the woods fucking trying to play military. You know, I fuck you, dude. Like, I was trying to be nice, but, like, clearly you're just a little child. And I don't want that, right? Like, I just don't care about that. Yeah, it's fucking race baiting bullshit, and you're not clever. Like I see what the fuck y'all are doing. It's fucking childish. And Sammy, honestly, is better than that. At least he used to be. Oh yeah, I mean, I don't know where he stands now. The freak, you know, Will has come a long way. He's not like a Christian anymore. And, you know, like, for a while, I wasn't seeing him do that, like, bait chat shit that he fucking does. You know, I'm not sure where he stands on his politics anymore, but when I first met the dude, he was fucking claiming to be part of a militia. Keep on virtue signaling. Like, what the fuck am I virtue signaling? You're just a child. Jay's worthier adversary. All right, so that's kind of what I have to say about that. Like, I do want people to be able to fucking do their shit. But if people aren't going to be respectful in heavy conversations, then we'll have heavier moderation during those heavier conversations. Yeah, and Will, if you want to fucking talk about it, we'll set up a stream one day. I'm not gonna play the fucking games this time. You know what you do? You try to play stupid, and you're not stupid. You know what you're doing. So Bree gave us a lot of context, and some of that context is gonna feed the narrative, especially if Jay is successful in pulling more Christians into it. And I'm kind of a mixed bag when it comes to there was a comment, I think it was Dr. Kip, that said that a lot of the major Christians have already rejected Jay. And I think both things can be true, but he's really going to be able to hone in on what he's going to call sexual deviancy. He's already started to call it a sex cult, blah 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 blah, and it's another reason why I feel it's probably worthy for me to take this on. It was the misogyny, him trying to transition sexual liberty into some kind of sexual deviancy, and then the transphobia. Again, I had assumed by the way that he had attacked me the last go around, he was some uber lefty, and I'm finding out he's more of a, I don't know, fucking, I don't know, he's not that. So I'm gonna have to probably really kind of figure out his politics, where he's coming from on that. He's gonna accuse pretty much anybody standing in opposition of him of supporting sexual assault. So it's potentially going to get very messy. Probably already has been. It's probably why people are so raw about it. So I imagine this is, from what I remember the conversation last night, Bree said that this has been pretty much going on pretty hardcore since December. So there was the initial statement, there was the change statement, things kind of died down, nobody was really talking about it, and then Jay started this crusade somewhere back in the December area. So this is probably hardcore. I imagine that there's a lot of people, that are, I don't know, people that were friends that aren't friends anymore over this. And I was reflecting on it, this is nothing new to any atheist community, really. Even this one in particularly. This atheist community has been riddled with controversy, with shows blowing up, with conferences that are hosting just bad people, and it's been a hodgepodge. You had the non sequitur show blowing up, that whole instance with Steve McRae, which was funny. Some people were still talking about that shit, and this is just some kind of common theme with the community. There's always this turbulence, but never really have I seen before where atheists are mad at atheists, and one set of atheists turn to Christians. That's just nothing I've really experienced. Even during the whole trans sport issue, and that shit was blowing up, I don't know, 5-6 years ago. And it's this really complex, nuanced position, and people taking a position for sports purity are being branded a thing, and people not taking that position of sports purity are being branded a thing, and it really tore through the community and tore it asunder. And this kind of reminds me a lot of that from what I'm seeing. There's a lot of raw emotion, and it's been done on both sides. So right now, so far, I've been kind of covering the one side of it, the NanoCon side of it. Bree coming in and giving her story. At some point, I'm going to have to give the opportunity to the other side. Like, Jay probably wouldn't be the best person for it, but if somebody on Jay's side wants to come on and convince me why I'm wrong, why I have the wrong position, why I am indeed condoning or justifying sexual assault. And again, I find that kind of to be a ludicrous position, right? Like, so if you really took that position, you wouldn't then be going to try to find allyship with people that vote for sexual predators, right? Like, if these people really took sexual assault seriously, they wouldn't be voting and justifying and protecting fucking pedophiles. So, like, to seek the aid of those types just shows like this isn't really your goal, right? You don't care about the sexual assault. You care about destroying a community you feel has shunned you. And brother, I have been there when it comes to that. I can understand that. I was bitter for a really long time. I've had people admit to me that I was blacklisted from the atheist community. I've had people deny it. I've had just a lot of things, and I've had a lot of rage about it. Because whether you like me or not, one thing that I have done is I fought against fucking bullshit. I've fought against bigots. I've fought against Christians. I've fought. Whether you like me or not, I've fought. I don't deserve to be blackballed from no atheist community because I am a representative of your atheist community, whether you like it or not. This performative behavior from Knock exposes a deep desire for validation and approval and to appear to be virtuous. Oh, whatever, bro. Virtuous. Can I be virtuous? I'm not a virtuous person. I'm egotistical. I'm an asshole. I'm conceited. I often think I'm right above, like, the ability to take the time to see if I'm right. I yell at my kid too much. It was like a substitution for not spanking her. Am I virtuous? Am I some, like, example? Well, in a way, I guess. I am willing to look at myself. I don't know. Maybe will. Or you could just be like some fucking right-wing spurg. I'm just kind of like genuflecting on last night's stream. You know, the moderation in the stream became an issue that I was forced to actually take away my attention from what was going on in the stream because Messenger was messaging me like, do you want me around, dude? I'm getting timed out in your side chat. I'm like, man, motherfucker, like, how long have you guys been in side chats? Like, you're gonna get timed. Oh, how many times have I fucking been timed out in a fucking side chat? I go into a fucking Christian side chat, I get timed out all the fucking time. I don't cry about it. I'm not saying that Messenger was crying, but like, dude, no, I literally have told you that I'm sorry for the way that I treated you. I should have treated you better. I should have been fairer with you, but at the same time, you're an extreme right winger, and your politics, for one, I'm not going to agree with them, and most of the people that I'm cool with aren't going to agree with your politics. So if you come into this side chat of any kind of like lefty stream spewing those fucking politics, that people are going to feel some kind of way. It's something that I do want to kind of work on. Like, I want people to come in, as long as they're not just blatantly being harmful to people, to be able to kind of spew, like, oppositional rhetoric. Like, you know, Will Kincaid in the side, or not Will Kincaid, but Will Freeman in the side chat right now. Like, I wouldn't want him to not be able to say the things he's saying, right? Anybody's willing to have an opinion on me, and I probably did trigger him by calling him out. Babies can't take being called out, but I can. I don't fucking care. And I expect there's going to be a lot of things to call me out for. Like I said, there is a conversation out there. I'm pretty sure Jay's probably heard it before. He used to be fairly well ingratiated in the atheist community, especially the circles that would have their hands on said conversation. And there's no way to listen to that and not think that I'm a fucking monster. I don't blame anybody that comes out of listening to that tape that's out there somewhere thinking that I'm a fucking monster. Virtuous? No, I am a fucking mixed bag like any other human being, like you are, Will Freeman. I just understand. I understand what you try to do. This is like one of the things our beefs were started on was like the way you would like code in side chats about women and abortion and shit. And then I would try to explain that to people, and Sammy, oh, he doesn't do that. Like, fucking Sammy, you're smarter than that, and you know he doesn't. It's like the game y'all play now, and it's like an easily recognizable game. I don't really play games anymore. I'm not interested in it. Smokey played games, Will play games. I'm just not interested in that shit. I'm sure Jay's gonna play games. I'm just gonna be myself this time around. You call it virtual signaling all you want, white knighting. Smokey said all these things to me. I don't care. I don't care what you think. Last joint, I'm gonna try to quit smoking like flower weed again, and just go straight to my vape, and then I'm gonna like try to quit that, and then I'm gonna take my smoking, which by then I should be back on a vape, and then I'm going to try to quit vaping nicotine. And man, if I can do that, what did I just do? I just kind of like closed something I didn't want to close. If I can finally quit smoking nicotine, then there's only one thing left, and that's coffee. And I will be happy with my physical journey to some kind of form of health. This is my last one. We'll see if it lasts. I'm usually pretty weak when it comes to like quitting certain things. And these are like the remnants of what I'm hanging on from like my addiction days. You know. So we'll see. We'll see if it lasts. It's like really hard for me to quit weed now because like we've only been legal now for like 10 years, but I've only had like a decade of being able to like just smoke, you know. So it's like too soon, but I am getting old and I really need to think about like living long, seeing my grandkids, that kind of thing, you know. My daughter's 16. So, you know, grandkids can be right around the fucking corner, yo. I'm gonna need to be around for a while. So that's kind of where my brain is at. So like I quit the drinking. For a long time I like quit smoking cigarettes and was only smoking a vape, and I was like on the verge of like really cutting down on the vape. Like I could go use a vape and make it last like 2 weeks. But then like I can't even remember why I started smoking cigarettes again. I got stressed out about something. Probably my daughter, because my daughter has phases. This type 1 diabetes thing is the son of a bitch. So it's probably like my daughter stressed me out, and I started smoking cigarettes. And now like I'm back to like a pack a day of cigarettes. I'm smoking like flower weed again, and like I can just feel myself kind of like clogging up again. You know, like I don't know. It's hard to describe it. But yeah, eventually, like I'm gonna get rid of this smoking weed thing. I'm gonna hopefully get rid of smoking nicotine, and then the hard one is like my doctors really want me to quit drinking coffee. At least go to decaffeinated coffee. But like if I'm drinking coffee and it's decaffeinated, like what the fuck is the point? It's like drinking non-alcoholic beer. Like if that helps you, I understand for you, but for me, like what's the fucking point of non-alcoholic beer? I don't understand it. And like what you don't know is like all of that non-alcoholic beer actually has a little bit of alcohol in it. It's why they still have to card you for it. I don't want any alcohol, so why would I drink non-alcoholic beer if it has alcohol in it? You know. And then like I definitely also, so I've incorporated like certain physical elements. There's certain like physical elements of Taoism and Buddhism. It's called I can't remember the exact technical term for it, but it's basically like just like nonstop movement, right? Like, so it's do an hour, 2 hours of basically just kind of martial arts techniques, but it's just a constant flow of movement. And you know, that has helped with like a lot of the weight loss, but now I really want to kind of like get into the gym and start toning my body, really like getting my body to a healthy point, because I've decided I want to be around for as long as possible, and that wasn't always the case. I never really gave a fuck about being around for too long. I just kind of wanted to watch my kid make it to like being an adult, but now I want to kind of make it to see like my grandkids be adults, and that's a long way away from here. So I need to start thinking about that shit, and that's what I've been, you know, it's been this constant fucking striving to improve, and I'm going to strive to improve when it comes to like my tolerance for people like Will Freeman. You know, like people's opinions of me don't matter. I only need to sit within myself and be happy with that. And if I can be happy with that, if I can sit within myself and be happy with that, then none of the other outside noise matters. And that's a really like a very Zen Buddhist concept. Man, reflecting on last night, what else can I reflect on? Because I just woke up with all of these thoughts, like all of the different elements now. Because, so like me personally, I'll say the thing that like probably a lot of people don't want to say is it's getting harder and harder to believe the initial, that statement letter, right? Like it's getting harder and harder for me to believe that letter. And I am going to take some time today to go back and read that letter. And I'm definitely also going to take some time today to listen to the sister's reading of the level, and to also listen to the sister herself in some of these J streams. That's one thing I haven't done yet. I don't have that point of view. And I'm actually really, really interested in that point of view. And if any of these other people, like, again, I wouldn't suggest that Jay Bundy would be the best person for this, because my antagonistic hairs would go up immediately. But if somebody else, if Patty, for instance, wants to come and tell me how I'm wrong, or how I'm even being disgusting, and how I need to maybe consider how I'm being disgusting in this, because my intention isn't to like be disgusting at all, but we do have to consider there is an accused to consider, right? So, and if this was a consensual event, right? Then we have a person whose career literally has been wrecked over this. And this wouldn't be the first time somebody has used deception to try to rebuild a marriage. In fact, I would argue that like this type of thing happens quite a bit. But I would have to argue that without like personal knowledge of it myself. I've never been married. It's one of the reasons why I find marriage stupid. Like eventually you're just going to cheat on each other and hurt each other. I think it's nonsense. You know, I've cheated on every girlfriend I've ever had. It's not a thing most people can admit. Every single one. There wasn't a one that I've had that I didn't cheat on. Why put her through that? Why put me through that? I don't want to live with that kind of guilt. And if I'm going to cheat on every girlfriend I've ever had, what the fuck am I going to do to a wife, right? Know thyself, grasshopper. Know thyself. Virtuous, Will? I'm not virtuous. Anything but. Anything but, my friend. I do try to be real, though. And it is one of the reasons I just haven't been interested in being in a relationship. I'm not a fucking good boyfriend. Fuck. Why would I do that to anybody? I used to fool and delude myself into thinking I was a good boyfriend. I would delude myself into it's their fault I'm doing it, right? Virtuous? I don't think so. No, I'm actually one of the few people that can look at his bullshit. So I don't blame anybody for like listening to that tape out there. Like, if you listen to that tape, like, man, I can only imagine what you would do with that tape, Will Freeman, if you can get your hands on it. You should like really make nice to like Allie, find wherever Jen Aldridge is, and like really make nice with them and get your hands on that tape. Although it is illegal, and I'd probably sue you. Just for the point of it, like, you know, I admit that it's true on the tape, but I'd probably sue you just for the point of it. It's an actual lawsuit I'd win. And it's why they know they've never released it publicly, because they know I'd sue. But I mean, I'd fully admit that the person on that tape is me. And I was screaming and yelling, and I don't even like thinking about it. Don't even like thinking about it. I was completely in the wrong. Should have never spoken to Allie like that. Never in a million years I considered her my sister. You don't speak to your sister like that, do you? I did. No, I don't think that you harm people. Have I argued that? I just think that you try to antagonize people. And maybe you don't realize some of the things that you do are harmful. But, you know, harmful in the context of what, right? Like, so people's feelings get hurt. I know, like, there's a lot of people that don't care about that, right? Like, but, like, harmful when, like, some of the things that you do you might not realize could trigger, like, serious trauma events in people. And harmful to that extent, like, I think, and in fact, are any of us innocent of that kind of harm infliction, right? Like, you know, if I can harm somebody's feelings, like a bigot's feelings, like, I'm proud of that, right? Like, so it's all a matter of perception. You know, the thing I'll say about you, Will, is you do seem to know thyself. You know, it's the kind of, like, the unwilling to speak it plainly that I don't like, you know. That's kind of the thing that aggravated me the most. It wasn't like the comment, I love white people. Everybody knows you love white people. It's like the I don't know, the way that you go about pretending that you're not doing what you're doing. You know, the way that you and Sammy pretend like false outrage over it. That's what kind of drives me crazy about it. I just find it fake. It's the same thing I'm saying about Jay Bundy. It's just fake bullshit. Just own what you are. You'll be happier. And then once you own what you are, once you start deflecting away from it, you might actually start changing some of those things. Everybody can use some fucking Taoism in their life, bro. Even you. Got away from Christianity, you should check it out. Tao Te Ching would be a good place to start. Everybody takes it in differently. I'm sure you'll find a way to mold it around your fucked up shit. But man, yesterday was a doozy. In one regard, it was like the heavy streams from the past, right? Like, to where you kind of leave it and you're like, all right, something was accomplished today, but I don't know what, right? But something was accomplished today. In another way, it was like those streams from the past when it came to, like, all right, there's actually a few people watching this, there's chat engagement, something that hasn't really happened since I've been back on really any of the instances that I've come back. And that was exciting for me. It's been exciting to see kind of like that chat engagement from it. So, like, and then, like, I have to ask myself, is that something that's like propelling me to, like, want to focus on this? Is that, hey, like, you know, chat engagement. I've had thoughts of doing Nick Fuentes streams because, you know, that got chat engagement, and yes, that is like an honest, I don't know, like, propellant. Like, I enjoy that. Like, it's been a while, you know. You know, you have to kind of sit on these things, and you do have to kind of look at yourself. Well, like, I have to look at myself and see, like, what are my selfish motivations behind what I'm doing right now, right? That's another tenet of philosophical Buddhism. It's why I kind of took up philosophical Buddhism, because, like, the main thing about philosophical Buddhism, like, the main tenet, the main adversary, I guess, because Christians have their adversary, is the ego, is overcoming the ego. And I had a lot of ego. I still have a lot of ego. we all have a lot of ego, but the battle of against the ego is the main proponent of the spiritual struggle of a philosophical Buddhist. There's a lot of literature there, like a lot of people could read if people read anymore. Like, people see me like hyper focusing on like Christianity and the Bible, and I admit it freely is like my ADHD, like I will hyper focus on a fucking thing, right? But I don't like limit myself to that. Like I have always read as much as I could possibly read. And access to libraries have always been kind of attacked by Republicans, but we do have libraries here. When you are doing well with money, going out and buying books, I tend to do that a lot. Like I kind of have to stay away from Barnes and Noble, because if I even kind of see the sight of it, I'm gonna lose about $100, right? Like, and that's only like 4 books nowadays, like $100, but still, like it's gonna happen if I catch sight of Barnes and Noble. And I've always tried to read like a bunch of different religious texts. I do plan on like trying to make an attempt to go through an American version of the Quran, because I've never done that. And there's a lot of like risks and gambles with it. You can't be critical of the Quran without being called an Islamophobe. It's one of the elements of the left that I've always despised. I think if you're going to put a critical eye on Christianity, you should put a critical eye on Islam and Judaism as well, because they're all part of that Abrahamic umbrella, right? Like they all pretty much utilize the same tools. But man, last night was heavy. And it adds a different element, right? So I mean, if Jay wants to be a decent human being, like I haven't watched all of Jay's streams, but it seems like Jay could have taken a better route here, right? Like, so, and I think John Peterson would agree with this, because we've always kind of talked about it, like kind of behind the scenes as the channel was building and more people were coming around, and we were kind of seeing the inner workings of this particular element of the atheist community, kind of some of the gatekeeping that takes place. There is an argument to be said for one of his points, and I pointed this out yesterday, because like even though I dislike Jay, I found myself kind of nodding along when he makes this point, and that is that like white boy gatekeeping element of this atheistic society, element of an atheist community that would kind of turn away anybody willing to have an alternative narrative to their own, right? And there's an element where and that's probably how he kind of roped in a lot of people to these antics that he's using, that probably wouldn't have never really accepted the antics before. Is with that argumentation, because a lot of people probably have experienced that. If you don't do it their way, like there's always been this argument surrounding me, where I'm the raging atheist, and atheists need to be friendly. They need to be friendly to the theists. They need to try to be respectful, and I don't do that, so not welcome. And it's just disgusting. For one, like, why be friendly with people that fucking despise you? It's the fakest thing ever, right? Like, why am I going to be fucking friendly with Matt Powell when he goes around saying that, all gay people are pedophiles? Why be friendly to that? Like, what the fuck is that? No, thank you. So there was an argument to be had there that you probably could have got a lot of support, and why go this route? Like that's what I'm still trying to like wrap my head around, because I've taken on some crusades, and I've taken some routes, like people are trying to pull me back from the fucking edge, and I'm just like struggling as hard as I can to jump off that edge, man. And I've never never utilized any of the things that this dude is utilizing. You know, I've never like harassed people. I've never sent the people watching me after other streamers ever. You know, ever. I've just never done any of that. It's so disgusting. I've never gotten so mad at the fucking gatekeepers for not letting me in that I went to S.J. Thomason and I'm like, you know, S.J., fuck these atheists. Right? Like, never. And how do you get to that fucking point? Like, I don't understand that. I don't understand that. What's up? I haven't really even been looking at chat outside of like talking shit to Will Freeman, and y'all know I be talking shit to Will Freeman. I should fucking like. I can't open anything up. I do gotta get busy, but I can sit here and watch some shit for a while. Like I thought about doing that, but I don't know. I just woke up full of thoughts. And I woke up tired because I went to bed later than I usually do, and there was just so much like information to swallow, you know, or swallow's a bad word, to absorb. And there's so much more because, like, all right, so what is the other side at this point, right? Like, so I want somebody to come and, you know, and explain to me, like, why should I try to, and I kind of agree because I saw it spoken in chat yesterday. Like, all right, say like we, for one, why should I try to cancel NanoCon? Right, the person that did this is not involved with this NanoCon, and you know he says that NanoCon is covering it up, but the way I kind of read it is like NanoCon is trying to respect the victim and the situation as well as they can, and only release information if they have to. That's kind of how I'm reading it. Is like that the convention itself is kind of caught between a rock and a hard place. But why should I try to cancel this convention? And then, like, say we do cancel this convention, right? Like, I don't have clout or Riz. Like, Jay don't have clout or Riz. So S.J. Thomason doesn't have no clout or Riz to be canceling no fucking conventions. But let's say somehow magically we get it done, right? What then? Because that's not the end, right? Like, that's just the beginning. Because, like, we've got to burn down atheism. We've got to burn down secular humanism. We got to burn down this sexual deviancy. So, like, are we now like just going to be doing the work of the Christians for them? Like, I don't understand any of it. Like, so if somebody wants to come and like explain that to me, I'll try to be open to it. Like, explain to me why I, the raging atheist, should ally with a bunch of fucking Trump supporting Christians who clearly don't give a fuck about sexual deviancy or sexual assault, because like they literally stand for fucking PDF files. So like explain to me the reasoning behind all of that, and maybe we can get maybe I'll join you and I'll become a member of the cult of Jay Bundy, and I'll start like you can't see it, but I'll put like my hand down in my pants like a Bundy, and that can be what us cult members do. We just put our hands down our pants and play with our fucking dicks. So yeah, please come and explain to me and tell me like what I'm not seeing here. You know, there's two sides to every story. So what am I not getting here? Because I'm coming closer and closer to the conclusion that the whole statement's fucking bullshit and shouldn't be taken seriously, and that maybe Elliot himself, though, like, you know, probably shouldn't be speaking at conventions until he's mature enough to take it responsibly. Like, dude didn't really do anything wrong. So explain to me why he did, outside of, you know, being an irresponsible speaker at a convention. and why should he be punished? Because like it seems like there's this crusade against this dude that, I don't know, like made a really stupid decision, but it doesn't seem like it was a sexual assault. Or at least that's more and more I'm coming to that conclusion. You know, like yesterday I was like, you know, people should be wary. But like if the criminal proceedings have taken its course and he's not been found or charged, if the victim isn't coming forward herself, but having, I don't know, these, I guess, what would be the term for it? If not white knights, right? Then maybe it would be a different dynamic, right? Like, and again, like, you have to reiterate, like, just because a police investigation wraps up and there isn't any guilt found doesn't mean that there wasn't any guilt, right? But it does, like, create, the whole thing creates this situation now, like, you know, like, there's this young man at the center of it, and either one of two things, I think I said this earlier, either one of two things is he tried to commit a very serious violent rape as well as attempted murder, or he was involved in some really kinky shit that he shouldn't have been involved in as a speaker at this event in a public area, enacting out some a fetish scene for anybody to come along and see, right, with a person that's in a marriage. But ultimately, you know, there's been people out there calling this person a rapist or whatever. I can only imagine, like, kind of like what he's going through, the hell of, like, having to stay silent. Like, one of the hardest things to do. So everybody's like, yeah, your lawyers are going to tell you to stay silent. Yeah, your lawyers are going to tell you to stay silent. Ask Donald Trump how easy that is, right? Like, which he would be the extreme example, because every lawyer that's ever had him said he's the worst fucking client they've ever had. But, like, it is hard to keep your silence when people are out there talking shit, right? Like, you know, that would be a very hard thing, especially if he knows he's innocent, right? Like, if he knows he's innocent, imagine how hard that would be to keep your silence. It's no easy thing. It's no easy task, and that's why a lot of people most times fail at it, right? People don't know how to keep their mouth shut. But in the process of him doing that, though, like, how much of that clout is he losing now? And I say all of that, and then you have to take in, because there's so much to absorb, the fact that, you know, Bree's personal account of him, how she didn't like him, how he was being extremely irresponsible with everything, and, you know, that is an account. Like, all right, so, like, is this person unlikable to most, or is this just like a personal thing with Bree? You know, if you're sitting down having closer and closer personal conversations with this person, are there red flags popping off left and right? Because that does happen. Everybody's been in those Discord conversations where you're having conversations and those red flags start popping off immediately. I don't have them anymore. I don't even fucking have Discord anymore. It's fucking stain on humanity, in my opinion. I need to stop. Man, well, I don't even know why I keep hitting this shit, man. I'm just getting higher and higher and higher. So much to consider, and it is a complex situation, and it is fascinating. I'm in. I'd like to talk to Oz. I wish Oz would have came on. I'd like to hear kind of his take on everything, and I can do that. Like, I still got to listen to, like, his stream, and, you know, Bree says he kind of lays it out rather well. But then there's, like, also a lot of other stuff that I need to do, and I can't get, like, hyper focused on this, you know. Like, I really can't. I need to be working a lot, and I don't have new videos. I need to be making new videos, and this ain't something that I really would like to be making videos about. All right, so I don't know, but I know that I can't, like, quite get over the conversation with Bree last night. And for one, like, the circles that Bree has climbed since I've known her, right? Like, I don't know. But really, since I'm not working right now, it's really too early for me to do like some of the things I should be doing if I'm not working, like washing my clothes. And I really don't need to wash clothes, but I do have like a full laundry basket, and this is the day I do it, right? So I don't know, I could fucking just watch something, and that, because usually like if I just start watching something, it'll like kind of quiet my thoughts down, because I have just so many thoughts like running through my head on all of this. Another scenario I haven't talked about, like, so the victim, right? Like, so say the victim was an assault, right? All right, because that scenario is perfectly valid scenario, right? Like it happens all the time, especially when considering some of the things that Bree said. So some of the things that we're going to know about this victim, very sexually frustrated, right? In a marriage that she's not getting sexual validation, and probably not validation as a woman much at all. I don't know how long the marriage is, but I think that's a very common thing within a marriage. It's another reason why I argue against getting married. It doesn't really seem worth it outside of like all the tax benefits. And this happens a lot with marriage, for both sides of a marriage, right? I think with time, if you can't get used to the way the relationship kind of quiets down, kind of like smooths into like an easy routine flow, and a lot of people can't get used to that. They want that passion of the first, however months that you had that passion. You're never gonna have that passion. Not for an extended period of time. And if you can't accept that, right, and a lot of people can't accept that, you're gonna start eventually looking for that validation elsewhere. So you're looking for that validation. Even inside the statement, she's pretty clear that she was looking for that validation. And we all need that validation. Like, I've said several times in my old age, I've become quite asexual. I don't really care about those things anymore. But when somebody flirts with me, I don't know, it hits a special part of the stomach down here that makes it feel all warmy and shit. Makes you feel good about yourself. Because you need that validation as a human being, right? I still got it. I'm still, these teeth are fucked up, but I still got it, right? So I can easily see a scenario where, she is being very flirtatious, he's being very flirtatious, he is drunk, she is drunk, things happen, and it gets to a point to where you are suddenly waking up and you are finding yourself in a position that you didn't think you would let yourself get to, right? And your eyes are wide open, your drunkenness goes away, even for just a moment, and you're like, no. No, no, no. And he doesn't stop. That's sexual assault. And I would say that is very likely of happening. Very likely. That's sexual assault. He has to have the ability, no matter how inebriated, to stop. And if he can't, that's sexual assault. And I don't give a fuck what the police say. Dude needs to face the consequences. So if that's the scenario, then she's sitting at home now. Her husband knows everything. She can't really speak for herself, and she has realized that she was sexual assault. Now she was sexually assaulted. Now there are things that go against that, but you'd say, well, why would somebody sexually assaulted then spend at least 2 days trying to cover for her assaulter? People do it. People do it. It's probably not the common thing, but people do it. So, it is still within those realms of possibility. And I would say, probably the most likely thing that happened in the moment, right? So she's a married woman. She's never cheated on her husband. She's looking for sexual validation. She's getting that sexual validation. And then she wakes up to it and realizes, morally, she cannot do this. Totally see that happening. And now she's sitting at home and she has a whole side. Because no matter, unless her husband just got rid of the internet or put some like child lock on it, treating her like a little fucking baby, she could probably still see a lot of the shit being said. So she's sitting at home seeing people say awful things, and now she's got the raging atheist coming saying, well, fuck, man, I'm getting closer and closer to not even believing her at all. Man, that's gotta be feeling awful. All right, that's gotta be some bad shit. I need to be mindful of that as I'm saying stupid shit and allowing stupid shit to come out my mouth, because I guess that's very, very fucking real, man. And what a conundrum of a fucked up situation to be in, right? Like for both of them, if it's the best scenario for them. For both of them, if it's the worst scenario for them, right? It's quite a situation. And then you have this convention here, who initially was told a thing, and has tried to stay true to that thing, right? Like, so, and that was a lot of the misconceptions that was cleared up last night as well, because I thought like KC and AJ, like they were doing an investigation for NanoCon. But no, they were just witnesses to it themselves, and then probably at the behest of NanoCon release certain things. But, there's also the element that now there has been two sides drawn, right? And of course, in these things, you are going to automatically, like my initial response always in these things is to believe the victim, right? So in this community especially, you're going to have a lot of that, right? So if this convention is, it's got this PR nightmare on its hand now, basically. And it becomes a PR thing instead of a human thing, right? And which, while natural, I guess, for the convention to make it a PR thing instead of a human thing, fucking atrocious. You can't take that away. Like, that's fucking atrocious. It needs to be a human thing, not a fucking PR thing. So, and then you have PR wars going on. So you have a lot of people, and I know because people have reached out to me, they have a lot of like really hard feelings about some of the things that have been said about them in regards to this, right? And this is not the first time like this community's been split open like this, and these wounds never really fucking heal. And maybe it's time we stop like gatekeeping so much. Maybe it's time we stop pointing fingers so much, and maybe it's time we start like looking for true solidarity with each other. I mean, it's just a fucking insane thing to think, I guess. Because I mean, think whatever you want about Christians. Christians can find solidarity with each other. Yeah, a couple people did reach out to me about it, and yeah, if people can't understand why they might have some really raw feelings about this, maybe because it seems like neither side are blame free in any of this, right? People have been clawing at each other. So I usually tend to focus on like one or two people. Once you start clawing at everybody, shit gets out of control, man. So there's this PR nightmare side of it. There's this, a PR nightmare side of it heading into the next event that, they want this event to grow. And of course they want this event to be safe. I don't think anybody goes into these events like, how can we make it easier for predators to be successful, right? You just hope nobody's going into events like this with that security kind of apparatus in mind. It's fascinating shit to be walking back into, ain't it? And I am fascinated by it, but for me, it's always more of a tactic thing. So why am I fascinated by it? Honestly, it's probably because of Jay. The Jay aspect of it fascinates me. I don't understand this fucking dude, man, and I kind of wish I took the time to understand him. Which, I keep saying 2 years ago, but I actually think it was 3 years ago, because I saw this video. It was like the For You section of Jay's channel, right? And it was For You, and it was Jay saying, Will Freeman is a racist. I was wrong. And it was 3 years ago. And I'm like, wow, that was 3 years ago? Holy shit, man. Time flies. Like, was I gone for 3 years? I don't know. Like, it's hard to tell by my page now. I'll show you why. Because I did, like, that one time I came back, and I cleaned house. It's hard for me to tell by my page because I just deleted so many streams. So I came back like 7 months ago for a couple months. I was making streams. And I came back, 2 years ago, Raging Atheist is live. 2 years ago was Barbie Sexist. So 8 months ago, and then it was like 2 years ago, and then 3 years. Then there was a 3 year leap. So yeah, was it 3 years ago? I left fucking YouTube, man. 3 years, holy shit. So 3 years ago, P-Town, the disingenuous P-Town. Who is P-Town? I don't know. Because it would have been right at the end when, but I did get rid of like a lot of fucking streams. When Jay would have been coming into my side chats. Was Jay at P-Town? Who the fuck was P-Town? That was a good starting screen. I missed that starting screen. What the fuck did I do with that starting screen? Like, surely in the moment you were defending Hovind, maybe again play the victim card. But he came into Brett Keen's chat when we were having a fucking good conversation. And as soon as I got my chance, I knew it was going to happen. I was going to ask him about the defense of Chris Jones. I think I deleted too many fucking streams. This really awful thing. It's like, man, why was he coming after me back then? And he was saying I wasn't a lefty, that I was a fake left-winger. Where am I at? Where's my channel? I thought it was over Will Freeman, because I was like forced to defend that dude. Although, I mean, his point could be legitimate. The raccoon avatar could be like just Will doing his, race baiting bullshit. But it's just always like, from the very first moment I talked to Will Freeman, he had always been the raccoon. And it wasn't necessarily racism that I was getting from him. It was like anti-woman, fucking anti-abortion, like saying crazy shit about it. Like, like you get used to like pro-lifers, but like Will takes it to the extreme. Big Andrew Tate vibes back then. Will's come a long way. I don't know what I'm doing here. What am I looking for? Like 3 years ago. For me, like, did I even really ever address, like, I just think I kind of ignored him when he started coming in. But then, yeah, I did, like, delete, like, so I'm down to 484 streams, right? So when I started, like, the deletion process, I had, like, 1,500 streams. I'm down to 484. I deleted a shit ton of, so it's not even really worth me looking at that anymore. Analytics. I used to care about analytics. I don't care about analytics anymore. I'm gonna start caring about it on the other channel. I gotta like figure out my groove over there. So what's going on, side chat? Let me just finish. Like, stop ignoring you. Puck. Like, what was that name that I saw? It's like a name from the past. Puck 81. Okay, so clearly Knock isn't reading comments, but can someone catch me up on what happened last night and what that had to do with the vid he was responding to. The vid I was responding to last night. So last night was basically pretty much all day yesterday. I was catching up on a situation involving NanoCon 2026, a convention that's going to take place into July, last weekend of July into early August. And last year, an event happened at NanoCon. So, like, my second day back streaming again, I had this commenter, BFT Wayne, comment on one of my community posts about my involvement with NanoCon. I'm like, what the fuck is NanoCon? I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Then I saw my homie Oz doing a stream talking about it. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to find out about this NanoCon. So yesterday was me, like, finding out, like, this NanoCon and the situation around it. Watching different videos on it. And essentially what happened was an event happened at NanoCon 2025 where a sexual assault was claimed. And the initial response seems to be coordinated with the victim, and the initial response seems to be coordinated where the victim and the conference themselves are together on a thing, right? Like, so it appears from what I've gathered so far that the victim the next morning woke up obviously sore, in pain, markings, you know, and informed her sister on what had happened the previous night. They went to the conference staff, filed a report. And initially it seems like, how to word this? Like, the conference and the victim and the victim's sister were all kind of on the same page that they wanted to keep this quiet. They wanted to keep this in-house. The victim was going to, file a police report and deal with it personally, right? So that seems to be how it was handled. The victim gets home from the conference, and there's a period of 48 hours where the victim is in communication with Bree, who was on the stream last night, and to where she was still, like, continuing the affair she was having with Bree, and it seems like the event that happened during that period was being described in a much different way. Like, it was a consensual thing that went overboard. It got out of hand, and the issue was essentially resolved. But within 48 hours, the husband finds out and locks her down. So pretty much she has to go silent at that moment. She releases a statement, a 10-page statement that anybody can read. And it kind of goes quiet for a while. The statement itself, probably, I would have to imagine, I don't know the reactions happening during this time period on the conference end of things, right? But the victim is completely locked down, completely in silence from that moment. So for almost a year now, the victim has been out of the game, right? And the husband is, to me, what seems to be the outlier of everything. Like, the outlier of the story changing, the outlier of a police investigation. But there was a police investigation, and that police investigation led to, the police looking at video coverage of it was an event. There was no video cameras in the hallway where the thing took place, but there was video cameras in the bar, in the event, right? You have to imagine there's probably video cameras everywhere here. I don't know where the event was, but I've been to events. There's going to be video cameras. Now, everything's not going to be recorded. Clearly, the situation in the hallway wasn't recorded, But the initial story seems to be that it was some form of a BDSM role-playing scenario that was transpiring between a speaker at the event and a guest at the event. So you have right there power dynamics that are going to be very, very problematic, not only for the conference, not only for the guest, not only for the particular speaker, but all the speakers and all the guests. This becomes like a PR nightmare for the conference. But initially it appears to be some kind of consensual BDSM role-playing scenario, very rough, violent, and then 48 hours later, husband outlier and a different story. And that seems to have, like, from what I got from last night with the conversation with Bree, that seems to like had settled for a while. There was this thing out there, but then at some point, the victim's sister, Patty, hooks up with Jay, and that was around December, and Jay Bundy and Patty have been on this the spree, I guess you would call it, like really bringing this up. And now we're to a point that Jay Bundy is calling for like the abolition of secular humanism, and really harassing people in a very harmful way, sending his people after people. There does appear to be some of that on the other side as well. So a very convoluted thing. That's kind of what I'm referring to in all of this. Puck, you do look like a familiar name from way back in the day, so that kind of drew my attention. Yeah, I am trying to be better about paying attention to chat. There was moments last night when I was able to pay attention to chat. But yeah, today I've been just kind of like genuflecting and just kind of like thinking about all this fucking shit, man, because there's a lot to think about. The conversation last night with Bree, I mean, it was, so I would call that conversation roughly about 4.5 hours, right? And Bree was a person that was directly involved in all of this. There's going to be like demonizations of Bree. So everybody says Jay's not the type to like strike channels. I guess we're going to put that to a fucking test. Let me get out of here. Why do I have it like that? Let's see what I got my stream up. Let's go to his channel. All right, like so. It's like this shit is like super weird. I don't know why he's kind of doing some of the things that he's doing, and he's what's drawing my like fascination to all of this, right? Like, so, you know, as a Buddhist, as a Taoist, and as an atheist, like I want to be able to empathize with human beings. It's something that I've really got to get better with my daughter, because my daughter's life experience is something completely different than I've ever had to try to live. And here lately, especially, I've been so focused on work and making money, and not that I feel like I really am missing out on a really confusing part of her life, and maybe letting her down on that by not toning myself down for her. You know, it's hard to explain, and it's probably something like most parents just kind of go through, especially in these teenage, you know, she's fucking 16, man. She's lived like this existence that is really hard for me to empathize with, because I don't understand growing up in this world today. I grew up in a very simpler world. You know, one of my favorite things to do on YouTube is like watch reaction videos, and one of the reaction videos, I'll get sucked in for hours and just watch different reactions to shit. And one of the things that I'll get sucked into is like Gen Z, or, you know, the really young people reacting to Generation X and how we grew up, right? Drinking from the water hoses, you know, the way we existed outside in the real world, and to see it, like, their amazement at how any of us lived through it, is one of my favorite things to do on YouTube. And I don't know how I rambled myself to this place. But to grow up in this world where you're existing inside with a tablet or a phone, it's just not something I can really like identify with. Even though I exist inside now with a computer and a phone, I didn't grow up that way. And the world that she's grown up in, the kids and the sophisticated level of the kids to an extent, but also like just I don't know, like if you realize like what's going on with like especially the younger generations, it's fucking terrifying. Like if you talk to teachers and the things they have to deal with, and the kids, and just like the self-indulgent nature of children of this new generation, like everybody should probably be terrified for the future of the fucking world, honestly. We all want to think our kids are these great fucking kids, but like the current batch is a bunch of fucking nightmares, man. And everybody says it, and everybody's kind of ignoring it. Like, you know, the 6 to 9 year olds right now are fucking monsters. And it's going to be like a world problem. We think Donald Trump is a world problem. No, the 6 to 9 year olds right now, give them about 20 years. It's going to be a fucking problem. So I can't, you know, relate to growing up in this world. You know, like, I think the movie Cuties actually tried to warn people about it. I think that was the whole point of the movie. I'll probably still get in trouble for saying that like I did the last time, but it's the fucking truth. It was a warning about society and what we're doing to our kids. Alright, so like this shit was super fucking weird. It's like he posted this last night, streamed like 19 hours ago. So at some point yesterday, I didn't see this yesterday because I looked several times. He's visiting his dad. You know, and I can somewhat empathize with that. I wish I could visit my dad. I haven't spoken with my dad in, I don't know, a very long time. And he talks about like how his family just like to have fun, right? And I'm going to assume, actually, so because I've pointed out the code switching, I'm going to assume that this is his natural self, right? Like, this is his authentic self, the more free self. And then probably the other image, I'll go ahead and pull it up. We're going to go to S.J. Thomas's channel. This other image he portrays, the code switching image, is him code switching to, like, white. So I'm going to assume, where am I? I don't think I'm actually subscribed on this channel to her anymore. Most of the old subscriptions, because I've changed this algorithm so much, most of the old subscriptions are on my other channel. And I believe SJ is over there. I can't remember how to, is it SJ Thompson? It's not Thomason. I always call her Thomason. Is this it? That's not it. No, that's not it. What the fuck? Is it Thomason? Don't make me open up my other channel, damn it. There she is. There she is. Truth matters. Okay. So, that was recent. Oh, they're going to have a part 2. May 23rd. I'll have to show up for that. Where's it at? Is it this? Right there. Alright.
Believing these other whistle.
And like this is like the code switching right here. So like I'm assuming like this is like his natural self, like what he is when he lets, you know, when he loosens the tie after a day of work. I'm assuming like this is his natural self, and it's kind of manic. It's kind of fucking crazy. Here, let me pour a cup of coffee real quick. I shouldn't be hyper focused on this. I should be like cleaning or something, being productive. But I'm hyper focused and I can't be who you are. That's one of my things. Like roll with it, get it out of my system so I can get back to work. All right, that's kind of what I'm thinking.
It's your host with the muscles all the way from the East Coast, and the nigga in Jersey. That nigga like he back in the bricks, boy. Boy, that nigga done come home. That nigga done come home. That nigga done come home. That nigga home. Oh, that nigga finna turn up. That nigga finna get silly. That nigga finna get reckless. Jay Bundy out on the loose. Jay Bundy's on the loose. Jay Bundy's on the loose. Yeah, Jay Bundy's on the loose. Jay Bundy out there having a good ass time, boy. Oh, shit. Oh, shit.
All right, just realizing I'm not charging my phone like I need to. Oh, what is that? Huh. So I guess right now as we speak, I'm looking at Jay and Jay's looking at me. He's watching my Nick Fuentes stream. He still makes great points. The black pill of voting for Democrats to just accelerate the collapse is where he loses me. I don't want my children to grow up in a country like South Africa of today. It's actually a really like good point that he's making, which is really weird. That's like just throwing me for a loop this morning. So he posted that like 9 minutes ago. So he's looking at me, I'm looking at him, right? And cool, because that's how it should be. And I'll let Jay know, like once you really start looking at for me, my name is Ronnie Tate. You're gonna find all the goods about me, so won't be hard to do. That's one thing about me, like other people are finding out now, like once you start like YouTube beefs and shit, people are gonna like dig around, and I've always just been open about my past, you know, like you're gonna find my shit, but it's all right because I talk about my shit, you know. The one thing you're never gonna find when you look at me though is any domestic. You're never gonna find domestic. You're never going to find any situation really where I'm like intimidating people or using violence on people. But you will find my shit from back in the day, my gangbanger shit. And I do admit that I used to be a very violent person. But now I'm a pacifist, and I've been a pacifist for, at least 20 years now. But I am realizing with that whole scenario that I need to plug in my phone, right? I really need to plug in my phone, so I'm going to do that, and then we'll continue with this. Looking at each other as me and Jay are doing right now at the very moment. And that is the way it should be, my friends. Like, I fully want him, like, please check me out. Like, man, I really, like, hate, like, he's going to find a heyday. Because when I went through, like, the editing or deleting process of my channel, it wasn't necessarily, like, let's delete, like, the times I was being a fucking idiot, right? No, it was more like, let's kind of, like, just delete a bunch of shit that I feel isn't needed. without looking at anything. So there's going to be like a whole bunch of shit he's going to be able to draw from and make like really fucked up shit about me. And that's going to be great because that's what people do. And I've never ran from that. And that's, I'm not really interested in doing that. I'm like just interested in like, what is your motivations behind this? And why are you tackling it in this way that you're tackling it, right? My motivation here isn't to smear Jay in any way. Jay Bundy in any way. I want to understand him. And I would like to actually get over my dislike of him. I don't like that feeling. I don't like disliking people. It's one of the things I've been able to actually do with Will Freeman, right? Like, I don't dislike Will Freeman anymore. I just dislike some of the shit he does. But I've been able to kind of like coax myself out of like just disliking him as a person, because ultimately I do try to be a humanist that does try to find the decency in every human being I do interact with. And I was trying to do that back in the day, drunk as fuck. I was just really bad at it. But I think I've grown to be fairly good at being able to find some form of decency within people. The argument becomes on a political level, at what moral line do you draw from recognizing the decency to not caring about it, right? Like, that's the argument when it comes to like finding decency within humans. When should you stop caring to try to find the decency within certain human beings, right? I think that's like the dilemma. But yeah, before, actually, I'm gonna put my phone on the charger. I'll be right back. All right, let's get into this. And Jay has my full permission to use any of the shit that he finds on me. I like these. What was it, yesterday or just earlier in the stream? I was like, I'm not playing games anymore, but I actually like some of the games. I kind of miss some of the games. But yeah, he's looking at me right now, and that's only fair. And he has my full permission to do what I'm doing right now, to talk as much shit as he needs. It'll only fuel my fire. And he's going to be able to find plenty of shit. I have no doubt. Like, I did not censor myself when I deleted streams and videos. That was not the intention. There's a lot of streams, like, I still plan on going through and actually doing the censorship thing. Like, if I'm making a fucking dick of myself drunk on stream, I don't want that shit out there. But I haven't done it yet, and it'll probably, like, I'll procrastinate on it for the rest of my life. Because I'm not a drunk anymore, you know, like, I would hope, like, I can build a new reflection on the channel, right? A new history on the channel. The one that's devoid of drunken rants at 3 a.m. in the morning, you know, or drunken rants at 8 a.m. in the morning. Who knows? Like, you're going to find everything if you look hard enough.
Jay Bundy's on the loose. Oh, yeah, I like the setup. Yo, man, I got three phone holders in the car right now. You know what I'm saying? I'm giving y'all the best one for the circumstance. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Get a little tour real quick. It's a mess in here. But the car clean. I love my car. I love this car. You know what I'm saying? So I got the little holder right here. That's like a little crazy. Acting crazy, Bigsby.
All right, one thing I don't get, I did this accidentally in the stream the other day when I was frustrated at the hospital, right? What I don't get is like the horizontal streaming. Now, maybe it's just me. I have a new iPhone. I don't know if it's every iPhone, but I'm assuming like you have the option to not stream horizontally, and I don't get why people stream horizontally. I don't have to stream horizontally from my iPhone. But maybe it's just because I do actually have, like, for a change, I never have like a newer iPhone, but I think the one I got is like the new iPhone.
You know, the dash, you know what I'm saying? That's the dash camera, but you see how it's all washed out because I'm in the sun. so it's washed out because of the sunlight. Same thing with the one over the steering wheel. So now we in the car. Now we in the car. I got an actual phone holder stand on the passenger side. So that's, you see how much better it is. I had to show you, because if I ain't showing you, you wouldn't really knew why I went with this. Added up.
See, so, and this is the manic shit, and like, it's not, you know, I have been manic online before, but it's usually after like a string of events, right? Like, you know, like a string of somebody attacking my kid, or a string of emails that I might have received. And then I spent all day drinking, looking at like those emails or those videos, stewing and fucking contemplating it. And then like I would fucking like hit that stream button and just go manic as fuck. Now, my homeboy here, he's fucking sober. And it seems like he's losing his goddamn mind. And he probably needs to find that, because like he's gonna tell us like he's like about to head inside for his dad's birthday party, and I'm like, bro, you're being kind of manic, bro.
Those 3 options, but now you know why I went with this one out of the 3 options.
And I guess you know, you got to find your silver linings in life. So Jay right now is going through my recent stuff, but there's not really too much of that. There's not going to be too much of this iteration of knock for him to draw from, right? Like, so mainly he's going to draw old toxic knock, and I am truly going to try not to be toxic knock anymore, but he's going to be drawing from toxic knock, and I am a new animal now. I'm not toxic knock, I'm Taoist knock. I've found a spiritual center now, so unlike him that's going to be like grifting to like these Christians, I've actually got a spiritual center now that I can kind of draw from and try to actually see both sides of this story. And I'm trying to get to that place despite this man, right? Like, despite this man, right? Like, I'm starting to like understand a bit of the story from like from like the AJ side, and the things that she's kind of been putting in my side chat. Definitely, Bree brought her aspect of the story too, but the aspect of the story that I don't have and that I would really like to have is this aspect. But I would like to actually get the gist of it instead of like, I don't know, all the manic shit. And it's hard for me to knock the manic shit, because that's what I did for so long.
I'm a whole ass car theist. I'm in the car. Y'all know them car theists, they be making them apologetics and counter apologetics videos from the car. We call them car theists. Yo, I'm a car theist, baby. We out here. We in these streets.
So like, dude's an atheist, but he's calling himself a car theist. And this again, like, what's drawing me to this video, I was watching it right before I started streaming, like reflecting on everything. What's drawing me to it is this, again, it's about that grift to the Christians, right? And he's going to say some like really, really weird things. And I think he's just like talking off the cuff, trying to be like intentionally manic here. But the things that he's going to say about SJ, if he really just stops to think about it, SJ's probably not going to be too appreciative of, because it's going to paint her in a certain light that I don't think he's really recognizing.
Man, actually, we used to do car videos back in the day. I've done a couple drives. That was days. Back in the Twitch days, we did some road trips. Back in the good old Twitch days, we did some road trips. But yeah, we a whole ass car theist right now. So look, y'all gotta go check out the streams that we've been doing with the Christians.
And thank you, Theo. Yeah, I think that is it's the question that we have to answer, is when you draw that line and you just stop trying to like recognize the decency, because the awfulness is overwhelming, right?
The atheists and the Christians is coming together. This shit is crazy. So yeah, what up, Wayne? So yeah, let me tell y'all this story real quick. So this shit was crazy, right? So I tried to tell the story last night on the late night stream, but you know, a lot of people probably didn't hear it. But you know, go check out the late night stream from last night, because what I call that shit? I forgot what I even called it. I don't even remember what I called it. But go look.
So and clearly what I saw from this as well, let's see if I can get back to it because I turned it off. It's not going to show me because
It's the stream
turned
I
it
did.
off. There it is.
In the middle of the night. It's so late.
All right, so down here, like the first comments on what Jay was doing yesterday is this BTF Wayne guy. Peace, good timing. You see that shit I sent in Discord, right? Now, BFT Wayne, he was in the side chat yesterday. Again, BFT Wayne is the person. Let's pull it up. We'll come down here. I showed this several times yesterday. He's the reason why, I'm involving myself in this at all, right? Like, he came with this, cancel campaign on NanoCon 2026. Like, this was, 10 days ago now. So, I'm just coming back, one of my first streams back, and I'm getting spammed with, let's cancel this fucking conference. Oh, and by the way, what are you going to do about your association with this conference? Right? So this BFT Wayne dude sent something in Discord to Jay about probably my streams yesterday. And now we have Jay looking at what's going on my channel again. So yeah, Jay's coming. He's coming. He's coming for your boy. And I welcome it. Again, he's going to have a lot to find. And I'm kind of surprised he didn't have shit from the last time. It kind of disappoints me he didn't just have shit from the last time, because I never really gave him a chance to unload on whatever he was planning the last time. And it looks like he's going to take an angle that I wasn't quite prepared for, a serious angle by the comment that I just received from him. So that threw me off. This could be a fun, different type of game than I'm used to. You know, I'm used to just really, and what I was expecting would be all right, he's gonna drag me through the mud here, but maybe he's thinking a different type of game.
I don't even remember. I don't even remember what it's called. But it's a two-parter because it got called off. So the first part is just worship time, just music and gathering and vibes. And then the second part, I get into the conversation with SJ. So let me tell you how that conversation came about. I seen some shit you said in Discord, Wayne. I gotta look again. I ain't really worried about these niggas. But yeah, but I'm a double check when I end the stream. But
and the only reason I point that out is because that's the thing that I don't like this organized campaign to cancel something. There's a lot of talk about this. There's a conversation about this happening right now in left-wing communities and even in liberal communities and democratic communities. The cancellation of Hassan Piker, but we're willing to work with Marjorie Taylor Greene's, right? And it's this is what led us to Donald Trump, right? This is what led us to fascist takeover, to Christian nationalists thinking they're going to actually instill some form of handmaid's tale in this country, right? This is what drove people away from the Democratic Party. This is what the Democratic Party needs not do. And this is what the atheist community needs not do, is be these gatekeepers, right? To utilize that culture of cancellations, right? Because it just turns people off so much. And I was always kind of screaming about this, even as I was surrounding myself with people willing to cancel and try and losing an inner struggle inside myself not to be a part of that, right? And ultimately, it's what led to my blacklisting. It's led to what, I don't talk to any of the people I used to talk to anymore. Because I couldn't bring myself to involve myself in that, and I wasn't the only one. John Peterson couldn't bring himself to involve himself in that. Other people in the community couldn't bring themselves to involve themselves in that, and I lost a lot of standing within the community for allowing myself to involve myself as much as I had. It literally took up until they were like putting atheist and atheist timeouts before I woke up to it, and it was like, this is all just ridiculous bullshit that just turns people away. And it did. Like, a lot of people that used to watch me wasn't watching me no more, and it would just turn people away. People don't want to be canceled, and if you're not brave enough to face it, you have to run away and cancel it. Then that just makes you a fucking coward. That's not anything to be proud of. I'm not proud of that. Right? I'm not proud of that. I wish that period of my life had never happened. I wish I had been stronger in my conviction instead of seeking that fucking ego glory of the brain.
Yeah, so I'm laying, so I'm fucking sleeping, y'all. I'm knocked out. I'm knocked out. And my motherfucking phone goes off. Now, normally my phone don't be going off on me when I'm sleeping like that because I turned it off. But for some reason, I forgot to turn my phone off. So it goes off, and I look at it. It's a text from S.J. Thomason. You up.
All right, so here we go. So the story is he's getting texts from S.J. Thomason at 3 o'clock in the fucking morning asking if you up. For one, I don't think that he's quite considering the implications of what he's trolling here. Why is this married woman? I'm texting you at 3 in the morning, bro. Like, maybe not quite considering the implications of what he's saying here.
It's a text message from S.J. Thomason, the Christian apologist, talking about you up. What would you do? I did exactly what you would do. I said, somebody fuck around on my phone. I ain't got time for this shit. Boop. Went back to bed. Sometimes I snore, sometimes I don't. I don't really know if I was snoring that night, but we're going to just pretend I was snoring. What the fuck is going on? All right, so I look at my phone.
All right, so she texted at 3 in the morning. He turns around and he goes back to sleep. And then she texts again. Like, I don't think he is thinking about the optics of what he's saying.
It's another text from S.J. Thomason. You up? Exclamation point, question mark. Man, somebody playing on my fucking phone. I got time for this shit. But I was so mad, I still forgot to turn the goddamn ringer off. So I'll go and see. What the fuck is going on? So I grabbed the phone. I looked down at the phone again. Nigga, I said you up. Now I'm like, what the fuck is this?
Now, we all know S.J. Thomason didn't say that, right? But he's saying she did. So what, you saying like S.J. Thomason just dropping N-words? You know, like, we know that's not like what he's saying, right? We know he's playing around, but I just don't think he's considering fully all the different optics of the manic bullshit he's putting out there. I'm not gonna watch this whole thing, and he did more. Like, it looks like bro did shit from let's go back real quick. Like, inside his, like, maybe family reunion. You know, if I did something like that, could you guys imagine what would have happened like 3 years ago if I'd have done something like that, bro? Every single one of my family members would have been dogs. They would have been like fucking getting death threats. Like, I could never like stream from like a family reunion. Fuck, I couldn't even mention my daughter. You know, and he's like streaming from family reunions and shit. I'm not gonna like look at any of that. I wouldn't do that personally.
Like a
And I'm assuming that's what it is because I didn't look at it. I don't want to look at that.
as Christian apologist. I know she's probably a good Christian woman. She probably married. You know what I'm saying? So I know she probably, this ain't probably a booty call situation.
And she definitely married.
I'm sitting here thinking,
She definitely a married Christian woman.
she's a good Christian lady. It's 3:00 in the morning. I know she's not get a booty call. Somebody's still playing on my goddamn phone. Click.
So then he even comes out and says it, just like the fucking optic. Like I don't think SJ gonna be happy with that, right? Like I know she ain't looking for no booty call. Like what are you saying, dude? What are you saying? This is not like you shouldn't be doing this, bro.
Let's go back to. I said, nigga, are you up? So I hit the fucking button on the goddamn screen. It's just, you know. Who the fuck is this? Why the fuck are you playing on my phone? Oh, it's 4:00 in the goddamn morning now. I gotta get up and do work tomorrow. I don't understand why the fuck you are playing on my phone right now. Jay, it's SJ. SJ, how the fuck did you get my cell phone number? Jay, we ain't got time for all that right now. We ain't got time for all around. I heard.
Now, like, correct me if I'm wrong. Let's look at it. Like, is SJ like? She's never been like some huge fucking YouTuber. And she's, man, yeah. She's bigger than she was, 3.9K. But like, this isn't somebody like he's acting like he's getting a phone call from Kim Kardashian.
Heard the motherfucking ops was still fucking around.
That probably dated me when I used Kim Kardashian, right? That dated me.
SJ, what the fuck? She said, nigga, I heard the ops are still fucking around about Nancy. Yeah, SJ, the ops is always fucking around about Nancy. I don't know what to tell you. It's 4:00 in the goddamn morning. They always fucking around about Nancy. Well, then we need to roll out on them niggas. SJ, what the fuck has gotten me? Nigga, I said, then we need to roll out on them. SJ, you been watching Scarface? You been watching Get Rich or Die Trying? SJ, I think you need to light off the gangster movie. Nigga, I said we need to roll out on these niggas. All right, SJ. I don't know.
So Jay's got a posse of SJ Thomason now, and he gonna roll out on the ops. And SJ about to show up at 4 a.m. in a church van. Like it's just like, what the fuck am I watching? And I see Skywork in the side chat said this little story Jay is running here is a reiteration. I need my glasses of the same story he ran 5 streams back with approximately 238 views at a minute in. Yeah, I should probably put these on. That makes it so much easier. Now I gotta adjust my big ass ears. Yeah, imagine a gangsta SJ. Yeah, can we imagine that? Let's go here. Can we imagine SJ, like seriously, just rolling out on some ops like this woman
and realizing that the smear campaign,
like this woman right here,
when they came forward.
And I don't know why I had this open because I'm pretty sure I'm gonna be rolling out soon to go to work. Yeah, I don't think that woman right there is gonna be like rolling out on ops with you, homie.
If you've been listening to too much G Unit or I don't know what's going on with you right now, but I'll call you tomorrow.
I can guarantee you, SJ Thomason does not listen to G Unit. I can guarantee you that. Now she might like be a fan of some of 50 Cent's trolls, I wouldn't put that past her. But as far as listening to G Unit, no, not a chance in hell, bro.
Nah, nigga, we ain't got time for all that. SJ, it's 4 o'clock in the goddamn morning. I promise you, I'll call you tomorrow. Beep, 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 beep. Beep, 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 beep. So I go to the motherfucking front door to see what the fuck all the goddamn commotion is. And SJ done pulled up in the goddamn church van. SJ done pulled up outside my motherfucking residence with the goddamn church van. Talking about, nigga, you ready to go? Nigga, I said we gotta roll out on. Nigga, is you ready to get the motherfucking blam blams? I brought my blam blams. I brought my church homies. They bought their blam blams. Get your motherfucking blam blams and let's go. So y'all know me. I stay strapped. Y'all know I keep mine on me. Y'all know I keep mine on. Y'all know.
All right, so I haven't looked at the stream with him doing like waving around like the toy rifle or not, but like. So like this right here, this is harmless. This isn't like threatening anybody. You know, this is just him talking shit, right? I wouldn't do it, like, or if I was going to do it, I'd get some like fake ass real looking gun, or I'd like borrow a real gun and do it like Charlie style. If y'all know Penguin Zero and his beef with Sneeko, you know, like you want to talk about clips. You know, that classic moist critical fucking banger, you know.
No, I keep mine on me. I be traveling, keep mine on me. Y'all know I stay strapped. So I jumped in the passenger seat. I got all up and through that church van.
So like the point of that, like if that's kind of what he's doing with the toy rifle, I would say like people are overreacting to that. I just haven't seen it yet.
I said amen, hallelujah, praise the Spirit of the Lord. Praise the Spirit of Jesus. So we rolled out on the motherfucking apps. We rolled out on the motherfucking apps. And then as they said,
it is the kind of the thing that like, you know, people do need to wake up to the fact like people are going to talk shit and they're going to use like comedy as an excuse to do it. So like you're going to have to like kind of really cherry pick you know, your like so-called calls to violence, but I do think that he does that. It's like some of the things that I've seen are definitely problematic, especially the way that he talks about women and trans people, especially particular women and particular trans people. But like stuff like this, if this is like the way that the toy rifle is being waved around and people are like trying to use something like this as some intention of like riling up violence against the conference, I'd really tell them to read the room and take a fucking joke. So I just have to really look at that stream.
Oh, they thought it was cute? Oh, they thought shit was sweet? Oh, they thought shit was sweet. Jay, we gonna spin the block on these niggas. We gonna come back to this same spot.
So essentially, like, what he's doing is like rolling out on his ops. So I'm essentially taking that, like, he's implying that he's going to do what he's doing right now. He's gonna like go through his ops backlogs, their backstories. He's gonna utilize whatever dirt he can find on them and try to spin it into a narrative against them. It's probably what he's doing right now, going through all of my shit. It's going to be very easy for him to do so, outside of the fact, like, he better be aware that I am very zen now, and it's going to be kind of hard to knock me off of my center. So it'll be interesting to see what kind of, like, tactics he chooses to use against me, and if they're different from tactics he is, like, try to utilize against other people. There usually is a different dynamic, so, like, if someone is, like, attacking a minority group, they'll do it in a different way than they would attack, say, a group of somebody sitting in like a majority, like, you know, your big white Irish boy here, you know. So yeah, it would be interesting to see if there's some like code switching that goes on when it comes to that.
But at the same time, the very next week, and we gonna roll out on these niggas all over again. Cause S.J. Thomas again, they spin the fucking block. Say what you want, but them Christians, man, they got some human decency over there. I don't agree with all the God stuff and all.
How do they have human decency? They only have human decency because they're willing to agree with you, because they see this as an opportunity to attack a segment of the population that they think their Bible is telling them needs to be attacked. There's no human decency. If they cared about sexual assault, if they cared about Nancy, they wouldn't have voted for sexual predators their entire lives. Right? They wouldn't have voted for a party that protects sexual predators their entire lives. These are not decent human beings. These are people that are looking for an avenue in, a new mode of attack against an old arch enemy that they've had. There's nothing decent about these people.
All the blasés and the Glavinoids, but they got some human decency over there. And when it's time to take care of their community, when it's time to handle their own,
they're itching to attack trans people too. They're itching to attack atheists too, just like you're doing. And if they're gonna have an atheist doing it, well, then you're the perfect stooge for them to fucking prop themselves up on and use you as the stooge you are. You are nothing but a tool to them, and the moment you are no longer useful to them, they'll discard you. They might bring you back up when an interesting conversation might take place for content, but outside of like some long-term alliance you're forming with decent human beings, good luck with that.
What's down there, like, yo, they packed that church, man, full of people. They got their chicken in there. They got their potato salad. Sometimes got little walnuts and little raisins. It's all right. You can try it. It really, it won't kill you. It ain't how we do it at our cookouts, but it won't kill you. You'll be all right. You'll be all right. You'll be all right. You know what I'm saying? And they got a little cornbread, a little biscuits, you know what I'm saying? Some of the sweet tea or whatever, you know what I'm saying? So we got the food, there's plenty of gas, and they loaded up with the heavy artillery, with the motherfucking blam blams, ready to roll. So look, y'all gotta go check out that stream. Y'all gotta go check.
So, and like all of that talk, that's not like, you know, riling up people to go to a conference armed. That's like basically, you know, they're going to be on attack mode now, and it'll be interesting because I don't think I've ever really seen SJ or Rebecca in anything but like defense mode. So like I don't know what he's expecting to get from these people. I don't think it's going to be what he thinks it is. Like these people spend half their time on YouTube defending their positions from their fellow Christians because they're women and they shouldn't be saying shit. Half of the Christians online are fucking misogynist pieces of shit who immediately sees a woman speaking and thinks that she needs to shut her fucking mouth. And it doesn't matter if she's a teacher like fucking S.J. Thompson or if she's whatever the fuck Rebecca claims to be nowadays, because that seems to fucking shift.
Got that stream I did with S.J. Thomason. It's on her channel too. And then we go, yo, S.J. waited too. S.J. called it an atheist and a Christian walk into a bar, because they ain't playing. They ain't playing. The Christian homies, they ain't playing.
I don't think you're going to see SJ and Rebecca doing like smear campaigns on individuals like you are doing. I think that they'll probably like have open rooms talking about it maybe. If anything, I'm not on Rebecca's channel. I guess I'm going to have to subscribe over there and see what the fuck's going on over there. Supposedly, like, the victim's sister read the statement on Rebecca's channel, so I got to find it anyway. But I don't know, like he's amping this up like these are going to be some kind of like soldiers for him. And I just don't think like Rebecca and SJ are soldier types. Soldiers are going to be out there like fucking just leading the battle for you, right? Like doing the violence for you. I think Jay's going to be doing the violence and SJ and Rebecca are going to be sitting back watching.
So look, fuck all that atheist bullshit. Fuck the atheist. Fuck the secular humanists. Fuck them. Fuck all their organizations. Fuck everything they talking about. When the real shit go down, you gotta figure out who really trying to roll with you. You gotta grab them motherfuckers and you gotta roll out. So that's what we gonna do. Go ahead.
I don't know. I don't know if that like philosophy works, right? Like, so if I'm like say we're in political unrest, right? Like, and we pretty much are, and shit's hitting the fan. Civil war's breaking out, right? Like, and you know, you've got to decide, like, what side are you going to take as the country is dramatically shifting, right? Am I going to surround myself with just any fucking killer despite their politic and just kind of hope for the best? Or am I going to surround myself with like-minded people that might have the same goals in mind so we can achieve some cohesive method towards those goals, right? I think I'm going to surround myself with like-minded individuals that share my goals and values for what a better country can look like, instead of just, I don't know, anybody willing to go along with me to attack the enemy, right? Like, sometimes the enemy of your enemy can be your friend, but most oftentimes the enemy of your enemy is just another fucking enemy.
Check out that late night stream we did. Head over to S.J. Thomas's channel, show her some love over there. Head over to Rebecca Davis's channel, Bread of Life, show her some love over there. She made a video with Patty. And look, understand something real clear. The Christians is getting flying monkey too. The Christians is getting swarmed on by the flying monkeys. The Christians is getting all the bullshit in the heat. But they stepped up anyway. They didn't have to be dragged.
So what flying monkeys are the Christians get? Is it other Christians or is it atheists? I doubt like atheists are attacking them yet. SJ will probably be hearing from me soon. It'd be interesting to hear like her angle on this, and especially maybe on some of the things you're promoting here. I would be like really interested in getting her angle on that, and I could probably find myself talking to her fairly soon if I wanted to. So that'll probably happen. Rebecca's a different matter. I've talked to her a couple times. She's been on my channel a couple times. I've also at times really disliked her, and I'm pretty sure she knows that. So that could be a very different kind of thing to broach. But I'll be showing up in her side chats as well when I'm around and I'm not working. But again, it's like I just don't get like the whole so like if your aim is to protect Nancy, why cancel all these other people? It just doesn't really seem to make much sense. There seems to be no goal outside of what he just kind of like stated, is like now the enemy, because like he couldn't get the allies he thought he was going to be able to get in whatever crusade he thought he was going to be able to rampage on. Now the enemy isn't necessarily NanoCon 2026. That's just like a symptom. The enemy is atheism itself. The enemy is secular humanism itself. And that's the thing that I just don't understand. How do you reach such an extreme conclusion when you consider yourself an atheist, when you consider yourself a secular humanist? I don't understand how you get to that conclusion. And that is like what I'm trying to put the biases that I have of this man from attacking me before, right? I'm trying to put those aside. That shouldn't fucking matter. It shouldn't matter that he came into my side chat 2-3 years ago, however long ago it was, and did what he did, because it clearly didn't matter. I didn't even like leave this shit up on my stream or on my channel, right? Like, so none of that matters. What is his motivations in all of this? Like, is he truly like, does anybody really think this person cares about Nancy? Did he know Nancy? These are things I don't know. Maybe he knew Nancy before and does like care about her as a human being, and these are like his motivations are pure, but he's willing to use methodology like just most moral people aren't willing to utilize. And what is that methodology? Because I've heard a lot of speak of that, but I just haven't had much of a chance to see it for myself. Is this going to be like a methodology of attack that I'm going to be like brutally, me, the raging atheist, the person that went brutally dark at moments? Am I going to like look at that and see that as, all right, this is as morally reprehensible as it appears to be? Or am I going to be able to like find that like moral justness within this person for this action? Now, I've historically been like pretty brutal to like people I consider traitors to the cause. And right now, like, this is where this person is sitting at with me, like traitor to the cause. Like, you pretty much betrayed all of your principles. And you are somebody that I should probably take interest in when it comes to like my personal, I don't even know how to describe it. Like, this is something that I should take interest in. Like, if I want to be about the business of normalizing atheism, and you're going to be attacking atheism as a whole. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm sitting at with this dude. And like all of this shit is manic, and I don't understand, you know, like, the including like family members in this shit, like you're setting. Let me get back to his fucking channel if I can find it. Or it's right here. Like you're setting yourself up to like really have like real true beefs with real true human beings, and I'm a person that understands those type of things. Now I'm not sure if I'm assuming like this kind of he's kind of like me in that regard, like he kind of seeks these things out, and this isn't his first rodeo. But you've already started taking it to personal levels with other human beings, and then you're gonna go and introduce them to like what looks like your family reunion or whatever, your dad's birthday party. The internet is a very fucking cruel place, and I learned these lessons, bro. I am telling you, I learned these lessons. I'm not a person that you're ever going to have to worry about these things with, but I would not be doing this. This is something that I chose to do in the past. I'm going to share the personal experience of the atheist Ronnie Tate and his daughter and the shit that they're going through. And maybe Christians will actually be able to fucking see, or maybe my ops will actually be able to fucking see that I'm a fucking human being and they don't have to treat me like a fucking dirt, right? And all it did was lead to attacks on her and me eventually having a nervous breakdown. It's not worth it, bro. Like, I don't like if you're having a wholesome channel, right? Like if you're not really expecting retaliation, then it's fine. You know, I saw, and I was saying the same thing when I first came back and I saw Oz doing a stream with his daughter. I'm like, Oz, what are you doing? His daughter's 18 years old. She's an adult now. She probably wants to do it. But my first initial reaction is, Oz, they're going to attack her. It's like, don't do it, bro. And I'm going to have that reaction for my worst enemies as well. It's like, maybe don't want to include this in your online persona if that online persona includes like attacking human beings. You're never going to get personal attacks from me. I'm never going to attack your family. I'm going to attack the shit that I don't like that you're doing. But other people that you are attacking are going to feel like it's free game. So I wouldn't include it. It's just a bad thing. I wish I had the time to really go through this stream. This stream I find to be like batshit fucking insane. I was watching a bit of this yesterday, but I got so much to watch. I got so much to catch up on, and I got a full work week ahead of me, and I got videos to make. I'm going to try to like do some pop-up streams here and there, and I'm going to try to set up the next conversation that I want to have, right? And I'm really hoping and focusing on and inviting right now, and I'll set it up. I'll try to decide the day later sometime this week. I'll set it up. It'll be sitting there. I want the other side. Jay is welcome to come, but like again, those hairs on the back of my neck might start prickling up, and I might get into antagonistic mode, and that's not quite what I'm looking for. I want to understand the other side. I want to understand your motivations, your goals, and why, right? Why? Is it Nancy? Is it truly Nancy? Because if it's truly Nancy, like, do you recognize that there are inconsistencies here? Do you recognize that some people are going to question those inconsistencies? Are you able to communicate with her, or is this something personal, right? I still need to introduce myself. Never seen the person, the sister. A lot of streams to try to like cram in when I can. Now, a lot of times when I'm working, there are periods when I can cram shit in. So we'll see what I can get done. We'll see when I can stream. I'll try to set that next conversation up. And I want somebody, BFT Wayne. You started all this bullshit, bro. You're sending shit on Discord. Come in, have a conversation. Tell me why I should support your side. Why should I disassociate my association, whatever the fuck that is, with NanoCon 2026? And if people aren't going to be willing to do that, then I don't see how I'm ever going to really have a chance to come to their side of the conclusion. Because right now it just seems like they're all a bunch of douchebags attacking people for no real reason. But we'll see. Again, I have to see it for myself. I trust people, but only to an extent. I got to see it for myself. Come to a conclusion for myself. That's what I'm going to be doing. I'm also going to be looking at other things. I do got to come up with some videos, and I don't want my videos to be focused on this on the other channel. I want it to be focused on atheism, normalizing atheism, the experience of an atheist, what it means to be an atheist, and that's kind of what I'm brainstorming. It might be a few days to the next video, but if you're not subscribed over there, go subscribe, and I'm going to start promoting that a lot more, and trying to make these streams and especially the conversations a better experience, and try to be a better interlocutor this time. Again, I've got a center now. I'm not going to be flying off the handle emotionally, drunkenly, very often. I don't really have the time to do this very often, so I've got to pick and choose my times. I know that there's already calibrations I want to set up. Steven has reached out. He wants to collaborate. I said calibrations, I think. He wants to collaborate. And I know me and Oz are probably going to hook up and collaborate on something, as well as some other people. But I got to pick and choose my times when I'm able to do that. Again, Jay, you're more than willing to come and have a conversation with me at any time. I'm more than willing to try to schedule something if that works better. I never run away from these conversations. I'm willing to see where I'm wrong. If I'm being wrong here, I would like to be right. That's how I have my own kind of moral standards to adhere to when it comes to that. So we'll see how this plays out. I'm trying to get over my biases with this person. It's getting hard. It's harder and harder every time I actually look at it. But like, I do kind of find some of the manic shit funny. I'm not gonna lie. I think when you're dealing with an interlocutor like this, you've got to be able to have some thick skin, and not everybody does. So some people are going to react to things differently than I'm going to. And again, and Bree knows this, and people watching this should understand this. I will go about this the way that I fucking feel like I should. I don't get intimidated, and I won't be pressured. So as I go about this, you might not like some of the shit I do and say. So buckle up. We'll see how it fucking rolls. And as always, motherfuckers, the earth is not flat.